All righty. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being audio video recorded. The agenda lists all the topics which may be discussed at the meeting and are those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for the discussion to the extent permitted by the open meeting law. Please address all comments to the chair. This meeting of the Conservation Commission will be held by Zoom at the link provided on the agenda. We'll start with any comments from commissioners. All right, I see no hands from commissioners. Any public comment from members of the public? Any announcements from commissioners? All right, moving forward, has everybody had a chance to review the minutes of July 6th?
Yes.
Any comments concerning the minutes of July 6th? Seeing no hands, I'll accept a motion to approve the minutes as written of July 6th.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mike and a second by Mary. Roll call vote. Bob Pease, Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
Patty Adams,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
and I will abstain as I was not present. Moving forward, the minutes of July 20th. I did not see them. Did you send them out, Nadia?
I thought some other commissioners responded.
I'm sorry, you said you did send them out. Has everybody read them? Any comments or additions to the minutes of July 20th? Seeing none, I'll accept a motion to approve the minutes of July 20th.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mike and a second by Jeff. Roll call vote, Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
Patty Adams,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Mary Wilson, Mary Wilson,
Aye. Sorry, I set it to mute.
well, and I will abstain as I was not present. Moving forward with appointments and hearings at 7 p.m. Appointment with Jamie Rowe for request for field change at 55 White Street.
Well, good evening, everybody. For the record, my name is Jamie Rowe from Haley Ward, and I have with me this evening Brandon Bro, landscape architect. And we are both working for the Spinelli family. The property is located at 55 White Street here in Lunenburg. Is it possible to share the screen with me so I can put some documents on for you?
Are they different than the ones that Nadia was showing, Jamie?
Yes, I have a couple of different documents I was going to show you and some pictures if it's helpful. I understand the commission did a site walk, so if you don't think having the pictures on the screen is helpful, we can not share the screen.
Nope, you're good to share.
Okay, let me see what I can do here. White. Share. So if I did this correctly, do you see a picture on the screen?
Looks like your pickup truck in Leachfield.
It really is. Thank you. So here's the situation in a nutshell. My understanding is that the Conservation Commission issued an order of conditions to reconstruct and install a replacement septic system on this property. And the septic system is located right here. And when this was constructed, the grade was raised above the level of the driveway. And so what happens is it created this slope right here. And this slope slopes right down to underneath the deck. At the same time, there's a low spot in the driveway where my cursor is, and the water is running down right into this low area as well. So what we're proposing to do is install a retaining wall right here at a higher elevation equal to the top of the leach field. And we're going to fill between the wall and the leach field so it's level. And we're going to be installing an area drain here to collect the water from the roof runoff, which has a gutter system that discharges on the driveway, and the limited runoff in the driveway. And it's going to be piped along in a solid pipe along the retaining wall and then discharge past the septic system. What that's going to allow us to do is prevent all the water from the sloped leach field that goes into this area here, prevent all the water from the driveway and the roof that goes in here as well. Right now, all this water down here is ponding and it's going into the house and it's creating a nuisance for the property owner. If you go back, if we unshare now, let me see if I can do that. Can you unshare me?
Actually, Jamie, I think if you drag your cursor all the way up to the top, you'll see Jamie Rowe's screen view options. Click the options and you should be able to unshare or stop sharing. You see it up there?
I do not.
Okay. Oh, somebody did.
There we go.
Okay.
So if you wouldn't mind putting the other plan on, prepared by Brandon Bro, that would be very helpful.
Nadia, could you put that back up for us, please?
Excellent. So this basically is a picture, a drawing of exactly what I just described. This area right here is the leach. Well, you can't see my cursor, can you? So wait, so you can see the edge of the driveway, and then on the upper right above the word driveway, you're going to see a gutter tie-in, an area drain proposed. That's going to collect the limited runoff from the driveway. It's also going to collect the runoff coming off the roof. There's a gutter system that will go into it. And then you'll see a drain line that's going to run to the backyard, and it's called a pop-up discharge. So it's going to discharge past the leach field onto the grass. And it also shows a proposed segmental block retaining wall that's going to be constructed in an L shape. And then fill is going to be placed in between that retaining wall and the leach field itself. And again, this type of construction, in my opinion, should have been done at the time of construction when they did the septic system. It didn't happen for whatever reason, or it wasn't shown on the plan correctly, or nobody anticipated this issue to come up after the leach field was constructed. So that's why we're back here before you. We're asking for your permission to actually do this under the existing order of conditions, as opposed to draw a new plan, come for a public hearing and ask for an amendment. I think it's small enough to do this type of process. Happy to answer any questions you have. Brandon Bro is also on the meeting as well. Brandon is a landscape architect and a contractor, so he's proposing he drew this plan. This is exactly what he's proposing. Brandon and I collaborated prior to him doing this plan, and we both are in agreement this is the right thing to do. Hopefully you'll agree and we can get this work done sooner rather than later. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Nadia, do you happen to have the plan that was approved that you can share?
I actually have it. If she doesn't, I do have it, and I can put it right on now if you'd like.
I guess that was a yes, you can put it up.
Perfect. Can you see it?
Oh, looks like a Jack Maloney plan.
Nope, it is a Soil Smith design plan.
So what I'm looking for, Jamie, is the blow up of the 30 and 50-foot buffer delineations.
Let me just blow it up here and here we go. So you can see the tanks on the opposite side of the tanks, behind the tanks. Here is the 50-foot buffer zone. Here is the 30-foot no disturbance. Here's the edge of wetland. And our discharge is going to happen right around here. So we are not going to be doing any work in the 50-foot buffer zone. Definitely not any in the 30-foot no disturbance zone.
Okay, so that pop-up is between the existing deck and the secondary septic tank?
Can you see the?
Yep.
Okay, so
Okay,
you can see the tank right
Yep.
here, and we're proposing up discharge on the house side of it. But there is a little room to go past it if we have to, not much.
okay. I don't have any other questions. It certainly looks like it's worked. It's already in pre-disturbed areas. It does look like it is something that should have been done originally. So you didn't have the grading and the water and all the runoff going in under that deck into the foundation of the house. So I have no further questions. Commissioners, do we have any questions? Please raise your hand. Don't see any hands. Jeff
Rich, I just
Viviano. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I was just
Go ahead,
curious. There's some Schedule 40 pipe, it looks like, that's showing above ground. Are you going to be adding fill over that leach field? It seems like the pipes are exposed.
Yeah, some of the pipes are exposed. It shouldn't be. And yes, Brandon Bro, the contractor, is going to be putting a little fill there, leveling it off. Probably seeding and or sodding that area, so there's no more erosion taking place there as well.
Okay, so has Jim Griffey signed off on this with the Board of Health, or?
So Jim Griffey has signed, I shouldn't say that because I haven't seen it. My understanding is the septic system has been given approval to be used, right? So they're using it now as we speak. So my assumption is Mr. Griffey took a look at it, it's okay, but again, I'm happy to follow through with Jim Griffey and have the discussion with Jim while we're doing this work. No question at all.
Okay, that was my only question.
Yep.
Jamie, in doing the review yourself, was the septic system installed as designed?
I did not evaluate that, Rich, unfortunately. That wasn't my scope of work, so to speak.
So we'll have to deal with that when they request a certificate of compliance.
Yeah, moving forward, I will tell you that Haley Ward is going to be doing the as-built plan for this and the certificate of compliance filing with the commission. So I guess that'll be part of my scope of work when we get to that point.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions or comments from commissioners? Any questions or comments from the public? All right, seeing none, I'll accept a motion to approve the work explained as a field change at 55 White Street.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Sounds like we have a motion by Patty and a second by Mike.
Yep.
Call vote, Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
Patty Adams,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
and I haven't seen him yet, Bob Pease. And I for myself. All right, thank you very much, Jamie.
All right, everybody have a great night.
You
We'll talk
too.
soon. Take care.
You.
All right, moving forward pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 is amended in the Town of Lunenburg Wetland Protection and Municipal Bylaws, a public meeting on a request for determination of applicability. Did I do that right? Nope, scratch that. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 is amended, the Town of Lunenburg Wetlands Protection and Municipal Bylaws, a public meeting on a request for determination of applicability by Jeff and Rachel Kozaka for excavation within a 100-foot wetlands buffer and filling and filling within the 30-foot wetlands buffer at 75 West Street. And I see Rachel and Jeff. Nadia, can you put up their application?
My husband's currently keeping our toddler at bay, so you guys are stuck with just me tonight.
Not actually sure what you would want up as the image, Rachel.
I guess if we can show pictures of across the street, that is currently, because I mean, we can review everything that was done on my property, but I believe that the issue at hand needs to be what our remedy plan is for across the street, if I'm correct.
Is the restoration plan showing?
Yes, I see that up there now. So, I mean, we're completely out of our wheelhouse when it comes to this. Again, we've all communicated, been back and forth regarding the situation. And after speaking with some landscape companies, again, speaking with the owners of the property, they did give me agent rights to go ahead and move forward with this. We feel as though removing the small amount of dirt is not going to provide any sort of benefits. And we'd be open to the two, because there's two little sections there that where there is dirt, and we'd be more than happy to plant something that's going to provide like strong roots to help with future erosion, as well as provide benefits to the wetlands and whatever might be living over there. Again, we're out of our wheelhouse. We're just trying to make the best of the situation and the mistake that we were unaware of. And there's a bunch more pictures down there as well. That's kind of like the pulled out view. And then the picture of all of the dirt. I know a handful of you were at my home the other day. You guys were able to kind of see that it wasn't like extended out and built up. It was just some dirt that was like leaned over on there. And then I did a close up of the two little areas. And that's flagged off. I'm pointing at my screen as if you guys can see what I'm doing. I have it flagged off, yeah, like that in the corner, so that way you can see the different areas.
All right, I was not able to go on the site visit, Rachel, but how much fill has been put in?
After speaking to my husband, he said approximately 3 yards. It was not, I know there's been some misconception as to how much has been put over there and that the space that has been changed. There was no like extension of the property. There was nothing built up and widened. It wasn't done for any sort of benefit. It was more or less just kind of topped off. There was a little bit of a down like level change in that area, and we just happened to put it over there.
All right. Speaking for myself, I'm concerned, depending on how much fill was put in, that the trees that are there, I think there was 3 of them in the slope that had rooted in. I mean, the slope and that parking area, the initial parking area, looks like it'd been there quite a while.
Yeah,
But
we've been
it
here for
doesn't
about
take
10
too
years.
much fill on top of the crowns of those trees to kill off those trees.
Okay.
Over the course of a few years. So I myself would rather see, if it was only a few yards, see the fill removed at least on the looking from the street on the left-hand side in that back left corner, so that we don't run the risk of killing off the existing trees that are there.
Okay,
And
so
then
like clean
put a few-
out the areas where the roots are, just to make sure that there's no like suffocation or any excessive weight to
Well,
kill
if
them
you're
off.
digging in there and it's only a couple of inches, that's fine. But if you're digging in there and it's more than 6, that whole slope should just be pulled back out again. If it's only a couple yards of fill,
Yeah, there's
it
definitely
shouldn't
no
take
more
than a couple hours just to rake it and shovel it back up and out.
Okay,
and then plant something along the top edge to keep any more encroachment in towards the wetland from happening, would be my suggestion. I believe you said there was a site visit, so I'll open it up to other commission members for questions.
sorry, I'm not being rude, not listening. I'm just trying to take notes because again, he's not here and I want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah, Jeff, right, Viviano?
Yeah, Rich. Yeah, it looks like about 3 to 4 yards of fill has been dumped there. I think it could easily be taken out by hand if you had even a small dump body right there, like one of those trailers, and then just kind of reseed that hill. I think it would do I think it would probably be the best for the stability of that area and for the trees as well.
Okay.
Any other commissioners have questions or comments? Okay, and what, for those that were on a site visit, what would you recommend? Like maybe 6 or 8 small blueberries or clethra or something on the top of the banking just to stop any further encroachment?
If she didn't, I have a question. If she didn't take down any trees, why does she have to replace more trees or shrubs?
I'm suggesting it just to stop encroachment from happening again. Because this is a violation, so if we put something along the top, hopefully it'll slow somebody down before they expand this parking area again in the future.
Thank you.
So that would be my recommend. Mary, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, I was on the site visit and I kind of agree with you and Jeff on this. I think we should ask them to replace with some blueberries or some kind of planting there to stabilize everything. It will be disturbed after. I mean, it's disturbed now clearly, and you can see where, even though it hasn't started to kind of leach out, the area up top has actually got a few cracks in it. They're not really visible in this photo. So it will move if we left it. I think it should be, the fill should be removed back out and it will be disturbed after that. So putting some plantings in there to help stabilize it, I think is definitely called for. That's my opinion.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? We'll open it up to the public at this time as well. All right, seeing none, I think from what I've heard, Rachel, if we can remove the fill that was put in there, seed with slope mix along the slope and use some hay, some mulching hay, just to help stop erosion while the seed is growing in. And then plant 6 either blueberries or clethra or some partial shade deciduous little shrubs in along the top of the banking, just to stop the future people from enlarging this parking space.
Okay. Now, in regards to a timeline of completion, something like that, obviously we have to balance finances, because I have recently had 2 surgeries that I can't do anything like that. And my husband himself has bad arm, so I'm going to have to go ahead and rent equipment in order to remove all of that, which is fine. I just need to timeline that we have for this in order to avoid any further violations.
Would you be able to get it removed and get it stabilized by, I hate to see this, the seeding happening before the end of after the end of October?
Okay, so you'd need it seeded before then, before October.
Yeah, to give it a chance to come in, and then, like I say, make sure to use some mulching hay, mulching straw to help prevent erosion.
Okay, so cleaning up that, and then planting the blueberry bushes, is there going to be a time that those are best to plant? I don't know, again, if like they're gonna thrive in one time of the year or not.
Yeah, no, fall should be a good time for that as well. Like, you know, we're already into August, so honestly, the best time to be seeding is the last 10 days or so of August and the first 3 weeks of September are the best times for any seeding and planting.
Okay.
So we can have a cutoff of our second meeting in October. I just don't have a calendar in front of me,
Okay,
but it would be the third Wednesday of October,
That's October 19th.
October 19th. Yeah, if you can just
Thank you,
have,
Nadia.
let Nadia know that it is done prior to October 19th so we can sign off on it.
Okay.
And was there an enforcement order on this, Nadia, or just an RDA?
I think it was just an RDA.
There
Okay.
was an enforcement order, and I think part of the response to the enforcement order was the request for a restoration plan, which was continued, which was submitted as part of the RDA.
Okay. So we can sign off on everything then on the 19th if you think you can get it done by then.
Okay, now if I run into a situation where something just isn't doable time-wise or financially or whatnot, I just need to be in communication with Nadia in order
Yes.
to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Yes, contact the office as soon as problems arise.
Okay, excellent.
Don't
So
wait
I
until
have,
October 18th, so.
no, I'll do my best not to wait till then. All right, so I have all the notes. I just want to make sure that I understand. You want us to clean up and remove the dirt, seed this with slope mix, make sure that we do some sort of erosion control, and then plant a handful of blueberry bushes in order to deter future modification of the area.
Yep.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the only other thing I did forget, and you jarred my memory, is at the base of this, at the limit of the bottom of the slope, if you can put in just some hay bales. I think you
Okay.
can pick them up at a landscape supply like Powell's or Proctor's, or a erosion wattle, which is just a straw sock, just in case you're working, it starts raining, just to keep any sediment from running down into that wetland.
Okay, and removing, how long after the everything's disturbed, because I know it will be loose and that's the issue with erosion, how long would you want the hay bales in the area for?
I would leave them until the seed is coming fully, so probably next spring.
Okay, all right, excellent. I have all those notes done and I will continue to communicate with Nadia. And again, if I have any further questions or whatnot, I will reach out.
Okay, and she should be putting those conditions down on your approval
Okay,
or your determination when you get it.
okay, perfect.
Okay. So
Thank
any
you.
other questions or comments from commissioners? You're welcome. Seeing none, I'll accept a motion for a -3 determination with the conditions of the soil that was added, the fresh soil that was added to be removed, the slope to be revegetated with a slope mix, and the top of the banking to be planted with 6 some sort of partial shade facultative type plants, blueberries, dogwood, clethra, and erosion protection to be placed along the bottom of the slope.
So moved.
We have a motion by
Second.
Mike, second by Jeff. Any other questions or comments by commissioners? Roll call vote. Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
Patty Adams,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Bob Pease, and I for myself. Thank you very much, Rachel. Have a good night.
You as well, take care.
All righty, moving forward, pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, is amended in the Town of Lunenburg Wetlands Protection and Municipal Bylaws, a public meeting on a request for determination of applicability by Jeremy and Elizabeth Henriksen for removal of existing septic system and installation of new building sewer within a riverfront area at 611 Goodrich Street. And we have the Hendricksons or somebody representing them present.
Yes, Chris McKenzie from Dillis and Roy here.
Okay, how you doing today, Chris?
How are you guys tonight?
Excellent. I believe Nadia is putting your plan up on the screen.
Well, if it's easier, if I can share mine, it gives me the ability to point stuff a little better.
I guess that's a yes.
All right. How's that?
Oh, that's a cat's meow.
All right. So I hope I have a fairly simple project here for you guys tonight. I'm representing the Henriksons on this project. This is their existing house here. They have an existing septic system and septic tank located here and here. There's the Easter Brook runs through two sides of the property, but it runs over here and it runs over on this other side. So most of the property here is within the 200-foot riparian zone. What they're proposing is they're going to do some work on the house and turn it into a 5-bedroom house. So in order to do that, they have to upgrade the septic system to a size to accommodate the 5 bedrooms. So we've designed a new leach area located here and a reserve area located here. The reserve area, of course, is not going to be built at this time. It's for future use if this system were to ever fail. In reality, they would probably just end up replacing and putting a new system in where the existing system is. But at this point in time, this work is not being proposed. It's just a reserve area. So what we're proposing in the riverfront area is replacement of the building sewer. It currently comes out here and goes to a tank here and then to the leach area. So we're going to cut into that and put a clean out or a sweep at that location and run over to a new tank. We're going to put the new tank outside the 200-foot riparian zone. The existing tank is within it. And then run a line over to the leach area, all of that being outside the riparian zone. So the only work that's really going to happen is the demolition of the existing tank, where they'll remove the cover up. They'll pump it, remove the cover, and usually fill it in with sand or break it up and fill it with sand and install a new building sewer. So we show some erosion controls coming from the building out beyond the edge of the 200-foot riparian zone. And so we felt this was such a minor amount of work. You're probably talking about the work that will go in the riparian zone will probably take less than a day to complete. So it didn't seem necessary for filing of a full notice of intent.
All right.
think
So you
that's,
said they're
about-
increasing the size of the house to a 5-bedroom?
Yes,
Now, are they just doing that with internal construction? Because I see the plan just says all existing structure, so they're not
That is my-
increasing the footprint of the house.
that's correct. That's my understanding.
Okay. I have no further questions. You seem to have done a good job explaining it. Do we have any questions or comments from commissioners on 611 Goodrich Street? Any questions or comments from the public on 611 Goodrich Street? Seeing none at this time, I will accept a motion for a -3 determination with a condition that the plan is followed, the presented plan is followed.
So
So
moved.
moved.
It sounded like it was Jeff for a motion. I didn't hear the second.
Mike?
Mike for the second. Any other discussion from commissioners? Seeing none, roll call vote. Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
Patty Adams,
Aye.
Katie Giles,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Bob Pease, and I for myself. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you. You guys have a good night. And let me get this up in your screen here.
Super. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Take care, Chris.
Thanks.
Moving forward, pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 is amended, the Town of Lunenburg Wetlands Protection and Municipal Bylaws, a public hearing on a request for determination of applicability by Sarah Abalonia for installation of a dock on Lake Shirley at 755 Reservoir Road. I see
That's me.
Sarah here, and you have unmuted, and can you put up this documents? All righty, if you explain to us here, Sarah, what you have put forth and what you're looking to do?
Sure. So my property is 755 Reservoir Road, but as you can see on this map, it goes out onto Flynn Road, onto the peninsula into Lake Shirley. So I have a little drawing there where we would like to put a dock. And we did have some questions that I haven't yet had answered about whether it has to be a true floating dock or whether it can be a rolling removable dock. There would not be much alteration to the land, other than maybe one blueberry bush might be taken out. I think there was a flower or two, but really just rolling the dock into that spot.
Okay, and it looks like so you haven't decided if it's gonna be floating or rolling?
I don't know if there's a rule about that. I haven't gotten a solid answer.
As
Like, does
far
it-
as we are concerned, no.
Okay,
I mean, it has to be a temporary dock. It's something, of course, you can get out in the winter time because you don't want the ice to damage it.
right.
And one question that I generally ask is, do you have a clear enough space there without disturbing any more vegetation to store the dock in the winter time on land?
There is a pretty good amount of room on the other side of the street.
Okay,
I guess my only concern would be that there's town bylaws of storing things within 40 feet of the road. But my entire property is all within 40 feet of the road.
okay.
So you can,
Unfortunately for that, you'd have to take that up with the zoning officer, which is the building inspector,
okay,
because we don't enforce those.
okay.
So it will be something
But yes,
you'll want to go up and talk
there
with
is
him.
room
Okay, yep,
on the other side of the street that the dock could live in the winter.
okay. You know, just a question to see, make sure we're not disturbing any other vegetation in that 30-foot no disturbance zone, so.
Mhm.
And I believe it looked like it was 20 to 24 feet out and 4 to 6 foot in width.
Yeah,
Okay. And you're gonna have a boat on it, I imagine?
yes, that's the idea.
Okay. And no other disturbance other than just you're gonna walk from the street out onto the dock?
That's exactly it. And there's already a clearing there. I
Okay,
think there's some poison ivy we were hoping to remove.
okay. Any other questions or comments from commissioners? I'm not sure, was a site visit done on this, Nadia?
Yes, we did a site visit, Rich.
Okay, and no concerns or questions from those that were present?
The only concern I would have, or the question I would have, is there's a culvert that kind of links the two sections of Lake Shirley there. It looked like it was around a 18 or 20 inch round culvert. If it can be placed obviously on either side of that, not over it, and there's no disturbance to that culvert, that'd be great.
Yeah, so the culvert, in the picture, the culvert is over by that birch tree. I think it's actually just to the left of the birch tree. So we're 4 or 5 feet from the culvert.
Okay, great. That was it.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Any other questions or comments from commissioners? Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll accept the motion for a -3 determination with the condition that the dock will be as presented 5 feet from the culvert, not to disturb or block the culvert in any way. And the applicant will pursue with the zoning officer the ability to store it within 40 feet of the road.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Patty, a second by Mike. Roll call vote. Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
Patty Adams,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Bob Pease, and I for myself. Thank you very much, Sarah. Have a good evening, and you'll get our approval from Nadia in the Conservation Office.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All righty, moving forward. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 is amended in the Town of Lunenburg Wetlands Protection and Municipal Bylaws, a public meeting on a request for determination of applicability by Nicholas Pirro for reseeding and associated grading within a wetland area at 408 Electric Ave. Do we have somebody present for 408 Electric Ave? Mary Ann, I see you raise your hand.
Yes. And I think Nick's here too.
All right, Nadia, can you put up documentation for 408? And there we go. All right, what have we got, Mary Ann, and what are we looking to do?
All right, yeah, Nick was cleaning up in back of the garage. And actually, when I went out there after the enforcement order was issued, I went out to see what was going on, to see what we can do to restore it. And while I was standing there, suddenly a gush of water came from off-site out of a pipe and into the property. Apparently, there is a sump pump that discharges periodically from a neighbor across the street, up the street a bit. And apparently, a catch basin had been installed on the property to take water from behind the garage and from the adjacent lot and discharge it to the storm sewer system. So what we're proposing to do is restore the connection to that catch basin. It was clogged, it was filled with sediment and so on, and it had been blocked up. It's been opened now, I believe, and I have a wetland seed mix that's herbaceous plants and some shrub seeds. It has to overwinter and it will sprout in the springtime. And we plan to reseed those areas after the final grading. And I believe we're right around where the catch basin is, there'll be stone placed to limit any kind of sedimentation.
All right, the catch basin, where does it drain to?
Nick? It's my understanding it goes to the street drain. Go ahead.
Can you, yes, it goes to the, it belongs to the town of Lunenburg. The DPW director has told me that they are going to maintain that catch basin.
Okay, so it's piped out into the catch basin at the northern, I think there's one currently there now on the edge of the property between you and the gas station.
Yes, this one is piped directly into it. It's not pumped, it's gravity fed into that one. The town of
Okay.
Lunenburg put that catch basin in about 30 years ago.
Okay. And so you've cleaned it out, so we verified that it is currently working, and then they will continue to maintain it moving forward?
Negative. I have not cleaned out that catch basin yet. I've gotten an email back from the new director of the DPW that they were going to take care of cleaning it out. You know,
Okay.
I bought the property years back and was just trying to clean up all the trash behind the building, and that's where we got to here.
Yeah, you opened the top of the catch basin because it was buried. You've found it and dug it out, at least the top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so currently the catch basin is non-functional, so the wetland will grow and shrink with the amount of water that sets
Yeah.
in there.
And how much the sump pump runs from across the street.
Yeah. And we may ask the office to just kind of look into that.
Yeah, yeah, Board of Health, maybe, I don't know.
Mhm. All right, so is your hash marking there around the garage, is that all currently, have you determined that to be wetland soils?
Not the whole thing. There's a strip that comes from off-site that goes to the catch basin. That's maybe 10 to 15 feet wide. Then there's an upland area. There's a stump back there. There's an old tree that's upland, and then it drops into that back corner. It's that area is isolated.
Okay,
It'll be replanted. The soils are still good. You know, when they removed the debris, there's good organic soil back there.
okay, and at this point, Nick, you're not looking to do any improvements, asphalt, parking area, any of that? It's gonna be as exists today?
Well, no, I was hoping to clean it up the way it used to be, and that's what I was in the process of doing. I have no interest in putting asphalt there, but I mean, I have regrinds that I wanted to finish putting around there. I mean, I brought the property from Roland, that lived in town his whole life, and he was looking for pictures, but there was always parking behind that garage there on both sides of it. So, I mean, I don't need to go all the way back there, but yes, I wanted to finish cleaning it up. and sloping it so the water goes to the catch basin where it's supposed to be going.
All right, is there any way we can get a little more detailed plan on exactly what you're looking to do for improvement? So then it's on file moving forward to protect you, and if you sell the home, we'll know where the wetland is, we'll know where the improvements are.
Sir, I have a question. I mean, how can I have a piece of property determined a wetland if it's coming from a neighbor's sump pump? I mean, I'm having a hard time understanding that, sir.
Well, it sounds like this is a depressed area that's been a wetland as it is now. I'm surprised. I would have thought that Mary Ann, as your agent, would have determined that there's wetland soils and that this is indeed an isolated wetland in here.
And the abutting, the abutter, is a gas station?
Yes,
With the
and-
fence there, when they applied, they identified it as an isolated wetland.
Correct. Yep.
Um,
And we
it's
do
been-
have recordings that it was tested and it is a wetland that is there.
Yeah. And the soils and the plants and so on. Now, if the sump pump discharge were to stop, there's also some street drainage that heads off in that direction. If that were to stop, it may shrink the wetland that's on that side of the culvert. That other corner, the isolated wetland, it exists. And
Yeah, at this point, there is a wetland there regardless of the sump pump. Obviously, there was a problem there because the town put a catch basin in, so it has been a wetland for a while, for long enough for them to have put a catch basin in 30 years ago to try to alleviate some of this water. So, and we're just asking for, or I'm just asking for a little bit more information where you're working within the 100-foot of that wetland. And you
I have a
have the
suggestion.
wetland across the street as well. So, I mean, it's to your advantage to mark everything you're looking to do in this one application.
Yeah. A suggestion I would have would be to put straw wattles along the limit of that wetland where it comes from offsite into the catch basin. And on the other side, to put a hay bale, not hay bale, a straw wattle ring around the isolated wetland area. Then it'll be identifiable in the field. And then any asphalt grindings and grading of the property to tip the, to get the water to flow into the catch basin will be outside of those areas and, kind of directing it to the catch basin.
Okay. Can we get it updated on the application plan so that we have it? What we're looking to do, where it still is all within the 100-foot buffer zone of a wetland.
Yeah, Nick, you need another sketch to submit?
Whatever you recommend, Mary Ann, I'll do. I was just
Wait.
trying to clean up the property behind
Yeah.
there. If I can't do it the way that I originally intended, whatever gets this done the easiest way is the way I'm going to go. So whatever you recommend, Mary Ann, I will do.
Okay, we'll submit to you a plan showing the limit of the wetland areas and then the work that he proposes to do around the back of the garage in finishing up the cleanup.
Yep, and any improvements if they're gonna do regrinds on a driveway in off of Electric Ave. And I mean, it shouldn't take very long to mark in what you're looking to do, but again, it's for your protection. And
Yep.
we know what you're doing, you know what you're supposed to be doing, and nobody's in the dark at this point, so. And mark
No,
the
understood. I
the
apologize,
wattles
sir.
and the
I
erosion
didn't think-
protection.
Excuse me?
And mark the erosion protection and the wattles
Yeah.
on there, so then we've got something to go with.
Understood.
Okay. All right, at this point, it sounds like we're gonna continue this, Mary Ann?
Yeah, that would be the best bet, so we could submit a plan. And when's the next meeting?
Nadia?
The next meeting is going to be August 17th.
Okay. Yep.
Any other questions or comments from commissioners? Questions or comments from the public? Seeing
Sir, I
none.
just had one more question.
Go ahead, Nick.
Can anybody point me in the direction of stopping this illegal discharge of water into the property that's creating a problem?
No.
I looked under the MS laws and I thought that if this is in fact a wetland, that it was illegal for somebody to discharge water illegally into it. So I'm looking for some help in enforcing that because that's adding to this problem.
Okay, if you
It may
want
not
to
be the sole source of the wetland. You
Yeah,
know,
if you want to contact the office and talk to our agent Nadia Madden,
I have already, as well as the DPW director and I'm not getting anything from either one of them. They think it's outside of their jurisdiction.
Is the house in Lunenburg that's discharging?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, why don't you come by the office? I mean, if the commission is willing to give me to go ahead, let's see what we can do.
That sounds absolutely terrific. Okay.
All right, thank you, Nick.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, 2 weeks then. Thank you.
You're welcome. Seeing no other questions, any comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll accept a motion to continue to August 17th.
So
So
moved.
moved.
We have a motion
Second.
by, sounded like Patty, and a second by
Sec-
Mike.
Yes.
Roll call vote. Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
Patty Adams,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Bob Pease, and I for myself. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you all. Have a good evening. Bye
You're
now.
welcome.
Yep.
Moving forward, pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 is amended, the Town of Lunenburg Wetlands Protection and Municipal Bylaws, a public hearing on a notice of intent by Matt Proctor for construction of permeable paver patio at 172 Peninsula Drive.
I just want to note, we do have a DEP number now, 208-1269 for this property.
All right, were there any comments from DEP?
There were no comments.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on this application from commissioners? I know he's been before us once or twice, and I believe we've answered pretty much everything on this one, other than the DEP number. Any questions or comments from the public? Please raise your hand. Seeing none, I'll accept a motion to approve the notice of intent as submitted.
So moved.
Oh, Jeff had a question. Sorry about that, Jeff. Jeff Viviano?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was muted there. Do we normally allow a paver patio within 50 feet of a wetland? I just need clarification, I guess.
We have on occasion approved permeable pavers, not in the
Okay.
30-foot, but in the 50-foot,
Okay, okay,
I believe. But it does have to be of a permeable design.
okay. So just, will have to be sanded between the pavers, essentially.
Yeah, the materials have to be proper for to be listed as permeable, and the pavers themselves, I believe, have bigger spaces between the blocks.
Okay.
Yes,
Sounds good.
Mr. Chair, Matt Proctor, if I could speak on that. Yeah, so this patio will absolutely be permeable, and it's one step more than sometimes people will sweep in just a mason sand. Permeable, but very slow water still runs. These are going to be a wider 1/4-inch joint with an aqua stone sweep. So it really takes the water down. It's a full stone bed underneath it that pulls the water. It's going to pull it in. Water's not even going to run on this patio except for in a a really, really heavy rain, it may run, but it's gonna take the water, completely permeable.
Okay. And how much sand do you put under the patio?
So this will have, I mean, it depends on what we find, right? We don't want any organics underneath the patio, so it's strong and it'll stay. But this will definitely have at least 8 inches of, it's gonna be all 3/8 trap rock underneath the patio, 8 inches stone laid directly on that. And then that aqua stone, which is, a very small stone, but still a stone fine, not a dust, that'll be swept in the joints.
Okay. And I didn't review the application. Did you submit the product that you're going to be using for pavers?
I did not submit the product, but it is, yeah.
If you could, prior to construction, just submit the data sheet on it, just so we can verify it's permeable design.
Absolutely.
Okay. Jeff, I see you have your hand up.
Sorry. Thanks, Rich.
All right, any other questions or comments from commissioners? Questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll accept the motion for approval of the notice of intent as submitted, with the detail of the pavers being submitted prior to the start of construction, confirming
So
that they're
moved.
permeable design.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All right, a motion by Mike and a second by Patty.
No, that was Katie.
Katie, okay. Roll call vote. Any other questions from commissioners? Roll call vote. Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
Patty Adams,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Mary Wilson. Mary Wilson, Bob Pease,
Hi, sorry, talking to mute again.
and I
Apologies.
for myself, no problem. All right, thank you, Matt. Moving forward.
Thank you.
Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 is amended, the Town of Lunenburg Wetland Protection and Municipal Bylaws. A public hearing on a notice of intent by Matt Proctor for the replacement of retaining wall at 207 Fire Road 16. So this one, I think in watching the last meeting, there was comments from DEP that needed to be addressed. You were going to address those with Nadia, Matt?
Yes, so went over it with Nadia, went over, of course, the comments from DEP. And I think there was a miscommunication with DEP on what was actually changing. There's a small wall right at the water line, a poured concrete wall that they were under the impression from the plan that was coming out and being replaced and changing the floodplain and the grades. As I talked with Nadia today, and that's how we understood that they were perceiving it, but it's the two upper walls in the embankment, and that there'll be no change with the floodplain. All that, the soils are going to stay at those same heights, and there's going to be no change underneath. So I'm asking that we, and Nadia could probably speak a little better about our conversation on it earlier, but that maybe some of those requirements should not be required, and that the plan was misread.
Nadia, you're,
Sure, I think I also misread the plan. It would be very helpful to have a full-size plan here at the office of this project. That's not something we have yet. So yeah, I misread the plan. There's no work on the bank. And then if long as they're not changing the grading in that lowest area, that's where all the potential flooding would be. Here, I'll show the flood map. So the area subject to flooding is just really down at the very bottom of the property. I think at the very bottom of the retaining wall. In that area, there's not going to be any change in grading. So it shouldn't be an issue. There shouldn't be any disturbance really in that spot.
okay. Did you guys do a site visit out here prior to tonight?
Yes, we did, Rich.
All right. Any questions or comments generated on the site walk?
No, other than Matt does great work, and I assume he's going to continue that onto this property. That adjoining property just looks fabulous. And yeah, it's just a removal and replacement of the retaining wall system. There's not really any trees to say, and it's keeping the existing grade, so it'll be a definite improvement.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from commissioners? Questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll accept a motion to approve the notice of intent for 207 Fire Road 16 as submitted.
So moved.
So moved.
We have a motion by Patty, a second by Jeff. Any other discussion? Roll call vote. Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
Patty Adams,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Bob Pease, and I for myself. Thank you very much, Matt.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Nadia, I believe at this time you had said McSweeney was asking for continuance on their applications.
Yes, they need some more time to revise their plans and update their submission.
All right, and they were looking to continue to the 17th of August.
That was the request that we received by email.
All right, pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 is amended, the Town of Lunenburg Wetlands Protection and Municipal Bylaws, a public hearing on a notice of intent by Ed McSweeney for construction of a house and associated grading in the buffer zone, Lot 5, Northfield Road. The applicant has requested a continuance until August 17th.
So moved.
Accept the motion to continue. Mike,
So moved.
Second.
second by Jeff. Roll call vote. Jeff Viviano.
Aye.
Patty Adams.
Aye.
Katie Childs.
Aye.
Mike LaRouche.
Aye.
Mary Wilson.
Aye.
Bob Pease. An aye for myself. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 is amended, the Town of Lunenburg Wetlands Protection and Municipal Bylaws, a public hearing on a notice of intent by Ed McSweeney for construction of a single-family home, garage, and driveway at Lot 3, Holman Street. Applicant has requested a continuance to August 17th. I'll accept the motion to continue
So
So
moved.
moved.
to August 17th. Motion by Patty, second by Mike. Roll call vote. Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
Patty Adams,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Bob Pease, and I for myself. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 is amended, the Town of Lunenburg Wetlands Protection and Municipal Bylaws. A public meeting on a notice of intent by Ed McSweeney for the construction of a well and a water line in the buffer zone at Lot A, Northfield Road. The applicant has requested to determine a continuance till August 17th. I'll accept the motion to continue to August 17th.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Motion by Patty, second by Mike. Roll call vote. Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
Patty Adams,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Bob Pease, and I for myself. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 is amended, the Town of Lunenburg Wetlands Protection and Municipal Bylaws, a public hearing on a notice of intent by Ed McSweeney for construction of a single-family home, garage, and driveway at Lot 4, Holman Street. Applicant has requested a continuance till August 17th. I'll accept the motion for a continuance to August 17th.
So moved.
Mike,
Second.
second by Jeff. Roll call vote. Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
Patty Adams,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Bob Pease, and I for myself. All right, that concludes our hearings for this evening. Moving forward with new business. Election of officers, if all members are participating. If Bob can make it before we go, we can handle that. Second, in topics not known 48 hours in advance of meeting. If you can fill me in on that one, Nadia.
We don't have anything new that has come up that needs to be addressed at this current meeting. So, it's a
Okay, so this
placeholder.
is just a reminder each meeting of what's coming up. Old business, update on encroachment issues at 192 Townsend Harbor Road. Nadia.
Oh, hi. So I believe Bob has spoken with town council about encroachment, and he was ready to go forwards to the select board. And I believe he communicated with everyone by email that he is not going to do that at this time because it looks like two of the somebody's moved. It's from one of the houses, and another property owner has only gotten one letter, and I think the lawyer's office is still going to send another letter. So he is going to wait at this time before recommending to the select board that the town continues with litigation.
All righty, thank you. Hollis Road residents update on maintenance work reimbursement.
No new news on the reimbursement front. However, we did receive our second quote for window replacement for 123 Hollis Road. So I just submitted that to Bob Pease and to Nadia this afternoon. So we now have 2 estimates, and Bob asked the town to see if they would need a 3rd estimate or a quote. So it looks like Nadia's putting up the 2nd quote that I received today, or we received today, from J&R Glass. It seems to be considerably less than the 1st estimate. And they seem very thorough. They said that if we were to go and choose them, it would be 10 weeks once we agreed to get the windows, and they thought they could install in the month of October.
Okay, super. Well, is Nadia going to contact the town accountant to see if this is sufficient or if we need another quote?
I think Bob may have submitted, I don't want to speak for Nadia, but I thought Bob had submitted a request to see whether or not if there was anything more that we needed to do.
Okay, so Bob's moving forward with this.
Yes.
All right. Did you have anything to add, Nadia?
I don't have anything to add at this time. Bob had been working with Julie on the sort of the quote gathering process.
Super.
Make sure it's all in order.
All right, moving forward with enforcement violations.
Rich?
Yes.
There was one more thing I wanted to know if we wanted to talk a little bit about the management plan for the pollinator habitat. We seem to have gone full circle about what to do about this 20 by 200 section of pollinator garden that first we thought we were going to use the goats to help us. And it looks like, speaking with the pollinator habitat team, that we've gone full circle and gone through a lot of different variations of what would be most cost effective for the pollinator habitat garden to be created. And I do have Robin Venenzia on board here, and if you wanted to give her a few minutes to talk about what the plan was. And we also wanted to thank Mark Bursch from to actually helping the team make this first step of many steps to help the pollinator habitat team create this incredible garden that they're hoping to do. And the Lakeview Nursery, through Mark Bursch, has donated his time to actually make this a possibility and a reality, not just a possibility, a reality, where he's agreed to do all of this work, which in fact he's already begun. And we're so grateful to him and his team for sharing his knowledge and his work to make this possible.
Okay, so what are you presenting for the vegetation control? So the goats are out, huh?
The goats are out because it was going to be too expensive. Plus, it wasn't going to achieve what we needed to achieve.
Okay.
And if Robin is willing to share her thoughts, I'd like to give it over to her, if she is willing, to tell us what her plan will entail.
All right, is Robin here? Just unmute
She is
yourself.
Here.
Okay. Hello, Robin. Looks like she's having a hard time, Mike, talking to us. She's unmuted, but I don't hear her.
Okay, I don't hear her either.
Okay. So it
Uh,
looks like it's a multi-year process to try to eliminate the poison ivy and the bittersweet.
That's correct.
What is the target goal for this 2,000 square foot area?
The goal is to eliminate the poison ivy as well as the bittersweet.
Mhm.
And once the multiple cuttings have occurred, then it would be something that we could handle ourselves, at least to cut, and then start in on using cardboard and mulch to actually regenerate that whole space so we can provide new plant growth in that area without having to worry about poison ivy and bittersweet encroaching on that space.
Okay. And it looks like
And I
they're
think-
proposing the sheeting and targeted sprays with acetic acid vinegar solution.
Yes,
Okay, just from experience, it will take quite a bit to follow up to try to get those out of that area. They do spread by root runners. So once it's mowed, it'll only be a matter of 5 to 7 days. The leaves should start to emerge again on the bittersweet and poison ivy, and just continually try to knock the leaves off, which is all the acetic acid's doing.
and by continuing to mow, I think the hopes of the team will be that this area will be able to be regenerated. So that's the plan from the pollinator habitat team.
Okay, I personally don't see any problems or any red flags on anything you've proposed here. My only concern is just to watch if you are using paper products and things like that for blowaways.
Well, I think once the cardboard that is soaked is put on the space, then mulch will be put on top of that cardboard to keep that cardboard from blowing away.
Mhm. Okay. All right, I myself don't see any problems with the habitat area or habitat people moving forward to this. Any questions or comments from other commissioners? Questions or comments from the public, please raise your hand. Seeing none, I'll accept a motion to approve the vegetation control plan submitted by the pollinator habitat group.
So moved.
Second.
Second,
A motion by Patty and a second by Jeff. All roll call vote. Jeff?
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
Katie?
Aye.
Mike?
aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Bob? And I for myself. All right, thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
Moving forward with enforcement actions and administrative hearings. We're listed on administrative hearing for Horizon Island Causeway. What is that, Nadia? Anybody?
Hold on, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up.
Okay.
Just 1 second. There we go. So this is a request from, this was originally from the Hickory Hills Landowners Incorporation. They had a number of dead trees that they had documented along Horizon Island Causeway. And they had reached out to DPW and I think another contractor to see about getting quotes to get the dead trees removed. There's quite a few of them. And what happened, I think in the meantime, they were going to bring this to the commission to see if it could be an administrative termination or if it needed an RDA. But in the meantime, DPW went out and cut all the trees, seeing them as potential hazards, you know, on the road. So at this point, I wanted to bring this to the commission and see what to do here. I think the new director of DPW was not aware that this is something that they would need to file with the commission for. And I myself am not completely sure if this would be, you know, just given the number of trees that were cut, would this be something to do through an administrative termination, or is this the kind of thing where the commission would want an RDA? They were mostly, I believe, dead trees. And I think we had a site walk with Mary Wilson and Richard Tremblay also had a chance to come out with me.
So I guess one question is, they're all on just one side of Horizon Island? Are there no trees or no dead trees on the west side of Horizon Island? Or are these trees marking on either side of the road?
I thought there might have been some on the other side of the road, but there is more land on this side of Horizon Island Road.
And it looks like there's a lot of trees on both sides. And I mean, it's a lot of, unfortunately, at this point, it's already been done. I take it they've left the stumps?
They did. And Hickory Hills landowners, they were prepared to submit an RDA if required, and are also willing to do some replanting if required. I think there's an area where people are sort of illegally using as a boat launch that they would like at least to put something in to stop people from using it as a boat landing, as well as some other areas. I mean, there's not a ton of space, but there are some places where trees could be put in. So it's a question of if the commission, would you like to have this as an enforcement order? Would you like them to do an administrative determination? Or would you like them to submit an RDA after the fact?
Just give me a second. I'm just looking at where the trees are.
Yeah,
Oh, they're
being new to the
spaced.
commission, I wasn't sure how you'd like to, how you have worked with DPW in the past on these issues, and if, you know, so we would like some guidance.
I guess if the trees were all dead, we probably should have at least started with an administrator's determination.
Mhm.
And then if it looked like we were leaving areas without any tree growth or understory, that there should be some replacements put back in.
Okay.
I'm assuming that these 28 trees were taken roughly evenly from both sides, and most of them are fairly small, under 10-inch, 9-inch, 4-inch, 5-inch. So if we have 28 trees over 500 feet, that's, what's that, one tree every 20 feet average? You know, that at this point where the work is done, I feel we should probably just move forward as an agent's determination, and we would ratify your decision.
All right, I will probably go out again with Hickory Hills and see where they'd like to plant and come up with an administrative determination based on that. Is
Yeah,
there any other input from the commission?
And that was my next question. Any questions or comments from commissioners?
No, I'd agree with you, Rich. That seems fair.
Yeah, I mean, if it was 28 trees in a small area, but it's 28 trees over 550 feet. And if you're gonna work with them to see where they want to put trees back in, and then we can also maybe mark it on here. And then just submit your findings, and your determination for our ratification at the next meeting, Nadia.
Okay, will do.
But if you can, I would probably just mention, I mean, if it's this close to a wetland, it may be where the DPW directors or the Public Works Director I know is new. I don't know if the DPW director is. They should probably just at least be given a courtesy call over to the office to talk to you quick.
Oh, yeah, and he has already reached out by email because he didn't know that that is something that would be required, and I'm certainly happy to chat with him about it.
Yeah, I mean, one here or there is one thing, but 30 along the causeway, all within roughly 6 feet of the water. It should have probably warranted a discussion. So, but at this point, I guess we'll toss it back to you to finish up a determination and any remediation that they want to do for it,
Okay.
unless somebody has any comments or questions on it. Mary, I see your hand up.
I just wanted to add, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to add a few comments. We did walk out in that area, as Nadia said, and there is a lot of vegetation still left out there. There's a lot of healthy trees still left out there, right? You know, I agree they should be notifying us to make changes of this extent right adjacent to a waterway. But in terms of, you know, moving forward, there is still a lot of tree covers there, except for the areas where the Hickory Hills landowner association had identified people kind of illegally putting their kayaks in. That's just what I had observed, which you know, is the same as what Nadia had articulated.
Yeah, there's been erosion areas in there for 50 years. We used to cross over that with our snowmobiles. So, of course, the trees were a lot smaller then.
I think you probably had a lot more snow than we've had the past few years too.
Yeah, we had good years and bad years. So, all right. So you're all set with that directive, Nadia?
I am. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving forward, 48 Oak Ridge Road.
So there are several sites where there have been letters of non-compliance issued. I am still doing some research in terms of the records, as well as trying to get access to some of Matt Marrow's old emails with these properties. I was thinking to issue enforcement orders, but as I don't have access to all the old emails of the office, but as I'm sort of looking into it, I see that there is a bit of a paper trail and some work has been done with each of these properties. So I'm still trying to figure that out. So I would say hold on the non for now. 445 Townsend Harbor Road, that was there was a complaint. There's already an open order of conditions for this property, because they were doing some work on erosion control down at the beach. But one thing that was also in the order of conditions was the construction of a pergola, and that I've located in the record, so that can be taken off.
Okay.
And then the two enforcement orders that we would like to probably talk about tonight are going to be 411 Goodrich Street and 615 Townsend Street. 411 Goodrich Street, a number of the commissioners came out on a site visit this last Saturday.
Okay. So Oak Ridge, Pine Grove, I heard you talking with Bob last week, or last meeting, about Cove Road.
Yes.
That was pretty substantial there. Arbor Street, you're working on.
Yeah. And I will try to reach out to the property owners if I can find phone numbers, but there does appear to be ongoing work that Matt was engaged in up till the time when he left. So I'm just still trying to get a little more information before I go forwards with those properties, or at least try to make phone calls to the owners first.
Okay, and what is this one that you put up on the screen?
This is 411 Goodrich.
411 Goodrich.
This
Okay.
is David Blatt's property where the commission had issued a positive determination for an RDA to take down some trees, along with an enforcement order for
Okay.
some of the work.
All right.
And we had Mr. Blatt contacted the office after receiving the enforcement order. He has presented, he had gotten somebody from, I believe it was Dillis and Roy. He got they had somebody come out and flag the wetlands, although he hasn't, presented a chart or anything like that yet. And the commissioners also looked at the specific trees that he is thinking about cutting and did some field measurements of their distance from the closest wetland flags.
Okay. If you want to just keep going down and showing us, is this what he has submitted so far?
This is some of the information in the packet. Hold on. It's a little.
I guess I'd be interested in seeing the new delineation that Dillis and Roy did.
And he hasn't submitted a plan based around that yet, but we did go and look at some of the trees on site.
Okay. Because originally, some of the trees that he was requesting, at least from field view, that Matt, myself, and I think Mike LaRouche was on site, were clearly within the 30-foot or on the 30-foot boundary. And there was also filling, yard waste and fill and things had been pushed into the 30-foot no disturbance zone, as well as other work that was within the 100-foot that was thought at another site visit that I did not go on. So at this point, Mr. Blatt is submitting the report from Dillis and Roy on the reflagging.
So yeah, he's put in some, I mean, this is sort of the most that we've got from him at this point,
Okay.
I would say. Did the commission have any comments about our site visit this weekend?
Yeah, Rich, I do.
Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
So you can see this picture is probably the best. That orange line, we went out and those are flagged in the woods, and we measured. There's one tree that he wants to take down that's within the 30. So there'd be replacement for that. It's a large pine. I personally don't see any issue with removing the large pines and then replanting a couple in its place. I guess there is an issue up by his driveway where there's a culvert that discharges towards the easterly side of the property. That there was some filling done in there that was not flagged. And then he also wants to clear essentially from his pool. He wants to go about 100 feet back and clear that. So I guess the big problem is he just had that one area flagged, and he really needs to have his whole property flagged. So that's my suggestion, is to get the whole property flagged instead of just that one little area where he just wants to take some trees out. So
Okay, and as to the fill that was in between those big pine trees, any of that gonna get cleaned up?
he said
or-
that I mean, it did look old to me. I'm not sure when he purchased the house, but it's already starting to revegetate on top of that. And he said that he'll remove anything that we'd like him to remove. So he's definitely open to that. But he said it was done by a previous owner.
Okay,
But a lot of that fill is kind of down by that area that he had the wetland flags put in the woods.
yeah,
You can
was
see some
pushed in
piles
between
of-
in between the pines that he's looking to replace or take down.
Yeah, there were some stumps and there's some like asphalt from an old driveway that's piled in there, and
Yep.
yeah, a lot of debris that needs to come out.
Mhm.
So
And I believe he had submitted some, Matt had some submissions to the building department prior. And it looked like he took those trees out when he was doing the work for the pool, or
yeah,
regraded down and pushed into the 30-foot no disturbance zone. So,
that's the question. And that area just wasn't flagged, so we couldn't really determine if there was encroachment or not. So
okay. So at this point, recommendation is for him to continue reflagging so that we can make a determination of where the 30, 50, and 100-foot buffers are.
that'd be my suggestion, yes.
Okay. Anybody else on the sidewalk have a comment? Mary?
Yeah, so I agree with everything that Jeff said. I would also be interested in the culvert discharge area. It looked like there were wetlands plants there. And having the Dillis and Roy or whoever he's contracted to actually do an assessment there for wetlands as well.
Okay. Can you contact Mr. Blatt, Nadia, and just have him continue on with his wetland flagging? So we can.
I can
determine
certainly
where-
ask him if he is willing to do that. He has
Okay.
expressed a strong interest in, containing costs on this project.
Okay,
But I can certainly ask him if he can do any of the things that the commission has asked.
okay. As one member, especially from the overheads, I mean, I can't see any reason to take the trees out. So if he can't submit a proper application, then the trees can then the work can not go forward. It's at his discretion. How he wants to
What do
handle
I
it.
advise him in terms of, does he at this point just need to deal with the enforcement order? The commission has issued a positive determination. Is he going to be required to submit a notice of intent?
He will at least need to file another RDA and show all of the work that he's looking to do, if he's looking to do the work around the pool.
Mhm.
And any remediation, at least for myself, any fill that has been put in the 30-foot no disturbance zone would need to be removed and the area remediated, which generally just cover it with leaf litter at this point, because it does look like it will revegetate, but I mean, you can't be leaving concrete and asphalt that was reported in the piles there. So, and see the report from Dillis and Roy on where the flagging continues out up from Goodrich Street along his property line out and around the pool. Would be my suggestion. Anybody else have any comments? So, you still there, Nadia?
I am here.
Okay, now, so I mean, at this point, he's gonna have to refile because he's looking to do more than just his original positive determination was. If he's looking to take the trees out around the pool, and he should put his new driveway in there, and if we can get that flagged.
Okay, well, I mean, it's right, we have to probably identify where the 30, 50, and 100-foot buffer is for the,
Exactly.
and those are the areas that he'd need to file for. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, any other questions or comments from commissioners on 411 Goodrich? All right, moving on to 615 Townsend Street.
Okay, this is Val Barris's property. I think the commission, at least more older members of the commission are probably pretty aware that there has been, a series of enforcement orders. This is the most recent one. And basically, I have been getting some calls from his neighbor, Alan
White.
Including this letter from his attorney, which was Alan Foster at 164 White
Foster.
Street. So, and Alan also brought me out to take a look at the area. Alan continues to have concerns about silt releases on the property. It doesn't look like there have been any silt releases since he last got in touch with the commission, which was last fall. At this point, there was an enforcement order issued last fall, and I did go out today to look at Mr. Barris's site. This is sort of the view from Alan's property. And this is, so he's, these erosion controls have broken down, which they had been put up in the past. And then Val Barris has been asked to put up a berm, which is constructed out of wood chips. I had a chance to look at it today. It's not quite to the dimensions which were required in the enforcement order, which I think are 3 feet wide by 3 feet high. So I spoke with Mr. Barros and asked him to build up that berm so that it's closer to what was requested. There was also a request to do some revegetation on the site. Some areas under there, Mr. Barros has several piles. There's some that are stones that are a little closer to the pond area where his neighbor is complaining about silt running out. And then he also has some dirt and gravel piles a little further away. There's quite a bit of vegetation now in between those sites and the berm. So I think that once the berm gets built up, Mr. Barris will largely be in compliance with the enforcement order. So I think that one's in good shape at this point.
All right, where this has been dragging on so long, I for one would like to put a deadline on their compliance.
Sure.
What's the first meeting in September going to be?
The first meeting in September is going to be September 7th.
Okay, I myself would like a motion to inform Mr. Barros that starting September 7th, if the enforcement order has not been completely complied with and signed off by the agent, he will invoke a $300 per day fine until such time as the enforcement order has been fulfilled.
Okay, and just, apparently, I don't have a way to, I haven't confirmed this yet with Matt, but apparently Matt went out in April and at that time confirmed that the enforcement order was largely complete. It does seem like the pile, it's a pile of wood chips. It's probably broken down and gotten stepped on a few times for the berm since then.
Well, then if it's mostly complete, he shouldn't have any problem completing it in the next 30 days.
Yeah.
I would accept that as a motion.
So moved.
We have a motion by Jeff,
Second.
second by Katie. Any other discussion? Roll call vote. Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
Patty Adams,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Aye.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Mary Wilson,
Aye.
Bob Pease, and I for myself. So did you get the wording of that, Nadia?
Yeah, so the enforcement order should be completely fulfilled by September 7th. And that it's a fine. If it is not, there will be a fine of $300 a day that will be issued beyond that.
Correct, yeah. And it has to be verified prior to our meeting on September 7th by the agent.
Okay. Verified by the agent.
So just to make sure that this is done and we should be able to sign off on it at that point. All righty, moving forward, if you don't have any other enforcement, Nadia?
I do not.
I just have one question, Rich.
Yes, Jeff.
205 Sunset, the Beers Lot, that dock, they said that they were gonna seek counsel. Are we gonna put a limit on that as well?
Has an enforcement order been issued?
It has not. They currently are working with the building department to figure out what they actually can do on the site. And I did reach out to Marcia earlier today, and she said they do have something that they'd like to bring before the commission soon. She's hoping to meet with me or someone else on the commission just to understand what they need to do different in the plans. I think there is already fairly good guidance from the last meeting where the commission discussed this, which I can talk about with her.
So you have seen work on this non-compliance issue?
I have seen, yeah, she's been down at town hall a couple times and has talked with the building department. So it's a question of aligning the code requirements with what the commission might be able to approve.
Okay, if you wouldn't, if you could possibly just send them a quick email, see if you can get a written update on where they are and when they think they're going to be either addressing the non-compliance or coming before us.
I certainly can't do that. And I do have an email from her as of this afternoon, so.
Oh, perfect, okay, so there is work being done on it.
Yeah.
Is that good, Jeff?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, as long as we're moving forward. All right, if you could, Nadia, contact Hannigan Engineering and Bill Hannigan.
Okay.
Matt and I met on site with him out at, and I don't, forgive me, remember the address. It's the large project being put in on Leominster Shirley Road just after Keating's.
Yeah.
We met with Bill. They were concerned there's an earthen dam that's holding back the water in the lower retention pond that is seeping an alarming amount of water. They were
Okay.
supposed to be putting in a sediment basin and trying to get the water to flow better across the street, or they would have to put in a new drainage plan for that lower sedimentation pond. And it sounds like he has not submitted or been in contact with the office about
Not
that.
yet, no.
So if you wouldn't mind, if you have an email, just contact them and just see where they were at with the that lower sedimentation pond and the sedimentation basin they were talking about putting in.
Can do.
All right, thank you. Open space and land use, Howard Street driveway permit application. I imagine that's a Bob thing.
Yes, there has been some correspondence about that. I believe the work is currently slated for later this month, next week or the week after. They're planning to do the survey.
All right, and Bob was talking about closing out the Trails Grant at the last meeting. I imagine he's still working on closing that out.
I think it's almost completely closed out per what Karen emailed earlier this week.
Great, and then we'll get our reimbursement money back. Committee reports, Stormwater Committee. Has anybody decided they wanted to be the rep for the Conservation Commission for the Lunenburg Stormwater Committee? Don't everybody jump at once. All right, I guess we'll draft somebody when we do the election of officers, where Bob is not here. He may not want to be chair anymore, so I don't want to nominate him just in case. So I think we've made it through our agenda. Are there any questions or comments from commissioners? Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion by Patty, a second by Katie, and a third by Mary. Everybody wants to get out.
Hey,
Jeff,
this was good. It's normally 11 o'clock.
Right.
All right.
Nice efficient meeting.
it wasn't even
Did a
talking.
great job, Mr.
Killing it,
Chair.
Rich.
Thank you.
It's
Well, I
great
hope
when
we had
all
a few
your big applications
continuances there, so
Right.
that's good because it's just about, look at that, it's 5:45. I'm going to the pool.
Where are you now?
I am on the shores of the Columbia River in Washington State.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Wow.
and we played that golf course. That's the 14th hole in the Coeur d'Alene Golf Course in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Oh, I've stayed there before.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
Oh, it is a gorgeous spot.
Yeah,
What a beautiful golf course that was.
I've seen that floating green.
Yep, that's the only one in North America.
Awesome.
Yeah, our son's driving out there this week. He's enlisted in the Navy. He's going to be a submariner out in Bangor there.
Wow.
Oh, no kidding.
Cool.
Yeah, he starts his trip, I think Sunday.
Bangor?
Thank him for his service.
I will.
Where's he off to, Jeff?
He's going to Bangor, Washington. at the
Oh, I didn't even know
subbase.
there was a Bangor, Washington. Huh.
Yeah, it's on the other side of Bainbridge. going
Okay.
West. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, well,
So-
good for him. It's a beautiful area. He'll have a great time.
Yeah.
Other than the Navy stuff. All right, roll call vote. Jeff Viviano,
Aye.
Patty Adams,
Aye.
Katie Childs,
Hi.
Mike LaRouche,
Aye.
Mary Wilson.
Aye.
I still don't see Bob, and I for myself. So thank you very much, everyone.
Good night.
Thank
Night,
you.
everybody.
Night.
Great evening, and look forward to talking to you in a couple weeks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.